has the smell of fascism around it. The Flag and Fascism Amendment.
Well, right. Oh, the amendment.
The amendment. And the problem in Nazi Germany is not enough people went up against it and made revolution against that regime.
Yes. Yes.
I think one of the more ridiculous things about this is that people could go to jail for this, because the thing is that the jails are overcrowded as it is, and there are more important things we could do with people like mass murderers who get let off parole after 6 months than to put people who are just doing things like this in jail.
No, I said community service, not jail.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I'm just sick of the idea that of all the people that have gone to war and have had the opportunity to serve their country, right. And here they are watching this desecration. But if anything good comes out of this, it'll be maybe patriotism will be
May I
alive.
just ask you this question? Mr. Kunstler, Mr. Glasser, and others are suggesting that one of the freedoms that these brave men died for was the freedom to actually, one, stand up and oppose the Constitution, or desecrate what you would call perhaps a sacred icon. This is protected free speech according to the 5-4 decision. And aren't you proud to live in a country that's so secure that it allows that kind of thing to happen and doesn't send its already overburdened constabulary against people who would burn it?
I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
Doesn't seem right. Viscerally, it doesn't seem right.
No.
That's what my president said.
We've got to work on this. And I think that the American people have got to voice their opinion.
Can we burn a cross?
That's a religious symbol.
Right. Can we burn it?
We probably can.
So you would permit the cross but not the flag?
The cross...
You'd permit cross burnings but not flag burning?
We're not desecrating Christ when we burn the cross, I don't feel.
Well,
but the flag...
Hold on a moment.
We're talking religion as opposed to...
Yes, we are.
American...
Yes, we are.
The American patriotism.
Yeah.
Can you burn the Constitution?
Well, it says something about the Supreme Court.
Can you burn the Constitution?
I'm afraid we can.
But you draw the line at the flag.
I do.
This lady's using logic, Phil. You know what she's doing?
Pretzel logic.
No.
Pretzel logic.
She is saying what Rehnquist said, that the flag is unique.
Rehnquist was in the minority.
Yes.
Keep quoting him.
We can, and he'll soon be in the majority. Bill Kunstler said the other day, because he's a fair and frank man, above all, he said he believes the constitutional amendment will go through like greased lightning, and it will. That doesn't diminish his point or passion, but it is going to go through like greased lightning.
You really think we're going to have 2/3 of the Senate and House and the states of the United legislatures?
What I said...
If it doesn't, would you promise to resign?
Yes. Yeah.
What I said...
Will you give me a 3-year extension like the ERA?
Wait. What I said...
What'd you say?
10 years.
Let him say what he said.
What I said, Phil, was I thought if the mood of the country was the way it was the last week or so, it would go through. But I'm hoping that cooler heads prevail. We went through and we imprisoned Japanese Americans, as you remember, overnight after Pearl Harbor, and then lived to regret it. And I hope we don't live to regret this kind of an amendment.
Incidentally, hang on one second. You don't have to have a constitutional convention in order for this to happen. You just have, what is it, 2/3 of both bodies?
2/3 of both houses and ratified by 38 states.
3/4 of the states.
3/4 of the states, and that's it. So you can narrow it. You don't have to open a whole constitutional convention so that everybody brings their own agenda.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think this court decision takes place in the context of a whole lot of other really right-wing decisions that are coming down that are turning back the clocks on black people.
Right.
They're going to come down on this decision around abortion, this Webster decision. They've got 5 other cases that could deal with turning back the clocks on women.
Right. Yes.
You know, I think they're going to be sorry that they made flag burning legal if they overturn Roe versus Wade, because there's going to be a lot of women out there who are going to be, you know, going to really see what this country's about.
I hope so.
Incidentally, let me just take, I want a legal lesson here. How would you word this amendment? It shall be prohibited to, let's hear this.
All right, here it is.
All right. It's not long, right?
No, 20 words.
Good.
20 words.
All right.
Bipartisan. Bob Michael and Sonny Montgomery and Democratic and Republican senators were at the Iwo Jima Memorial today with the president.
Yes.
White House called me last night. Did I have anything I wanted to suggest?
Read it.
Yeah. The White House called you.
Oh, yes.
White House
I'll
called.
tell you.
The White House never calls
You
me.
test my support for free speech.
Hey, this four gets one here.
Go ahead.
Read it.
Let him read it. Read it. Just coming to you, I promise. Yes, sir.
Will be Article 27.
Very good.
the Congress and the states shall have power to prohibit the physical desecration of the flag of the United States. 20 words.
I got you. I got you.
No.
Can I wear an Abby Hoffman T-shirt with the stars here and the stripes on the sleeve and the blue and the red in the back? Is that desecration?
It will depend on what state you're in. If you make
Is it desecration?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Is it desecration? I'll tell you something else. Can I use it in my Washington Day sale if I'm selling underwear or shoes or anything?
Phil, don't get excitable. Let me answer. If you make it out of a flag, take a flag, then probably the states will say no. But if you make it out of bunting, create your own cloth, there's nothing wrong with that.
How are you going to prove that? You're going to send people into the factories to take a look at the raw
Well,
stock?
if it has the brass grommets down the sleeve, like the one I took off the kid's back on the mall a few years ago.
How are you going to teach the cops to
again,
decide?
if you look at the hypocrisy here, because this government wrapped Oliver North in the American flag and sent him all over the world to commit all kinds of heinous crimes,
Like
trafficking in arms,
like running
supplying the contra-mercenaries to
Gaddafi
murder
Cubans to
peasants,
ground.
and then supplying the contra-mercenaries to murder peasants in Central America, and then now they're going to give them a little slap on the wrist. So they do all kinds of heinous things with the flag.
We don't know what the judge is going to do without it.
I'm one of these vets that believed all this crap about patriotism and belief in country and believed the lies that I was raised in high school and grammar school and all the patriotic nonsense that was filled my head. And I went to Vietnam and I learned the truth over there. But the thing that I want to make the point is that hundreds of thousands of us came back from Vietnam, and 2,000 of us, and I was one of the organizers of it, threw our medals at the Congress in 1971, and we shook up this country because we entered into the anti-war movement and we helped to bring down and stop this country from what it was doing. And the other point I want to make is that now because they got a few reformed Rambos out there, because they got some American Ayatollahs like Dornan here, you see, they want to whip up this whole mood. Just like in Nazi Germany, when Hitler got up, one of the first things he did was to make the burning of the swastika illegal. And what about the content? See, my last point is to the youth who want to profess this thing about what the flag represents and all the dead. What about the dead all over the world that this country kills under that flag?
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Producing the most spectacular collection of American music ever offered on TV. Teledisc is proud to present Music of America, the best-loved American music of our time. Led by our greatest conductor, John Williams, and performed by the world-famous Boston Pops Orchestra. Music of America features star-spangled classics written by America's greatest composers, plus music that captures the majesty of our great nation. From sea to shining sea, Music of America is a heartwarming celebration of our great land. Enjoy the triumphant strains of 76 trombones. Stand up and cheer. And tap your toes to the St. Louis Blues. And no true American collection would be complete without the immortal classic, Battle Hymn of the Republic. John Williams, the Boston Pops Orchestra, and Music of America can be yours on 2 records or 2 cassettes for just $14.95. Only $15.95 for the compact disc. A small price for the countless hours of entertainment, a cherished gift the whole family will enjoy. You owe it to yourself to order this treasury of golden melodies. Music of America is not available in stores anywhere, so here's how to order your collection today.
Call toll-free 1-800-325-0600. That's 1-800-325-0600. Or send $14.95 for records or cassettes, or $15.95 for CDs, plus $4 shipping to Music of America, Box 989, Hicksville, New York, 11802. Or call 1-800-325-0600.
To be part of the audience, write Donahue Tickets, care of NBC, New York, New York, 10112.
Yes, sir. You want to say?
Yeah, I would like to challenge the notion that it's only people who are terrified of the First Amendment that have a monopoly on patriotism. There are some of us who felt that our patriotism, our pride in this country was reinforced the morning we read about this decision in the New York Times. I felt very proud of my country. I'm feeling a little bit less proud of it now in light of the hysteria that followed the decision. But I think it didn't surprise me, it disappointed me. But I think it was a patriotic decision by the Supreme Court, and I think it's a decision that patriots ought to support.
You're a proud American, you support the decision?
Yes.
I think you wanted to make the same point.
Yeah, I want to say a word in favor of patriotism, but I want to ask what patriotism is. Is it defending a piece of flag and making it into a religious symbol so that you can't touch it without going to jail and be convicted of a crime? Or does patriotism mean that you defend the things that the flag stands for, that this country stands for, and that those millions of Americans died for when they fought against Hitler? That one of the things this country stands for and what the flag stands for every time you salute it is free speech. I believe that. Speech. And what you want to do is change that in order to start carving out exceptions to free speech. And you want to be the one to decide. Free speech means that every person in this room and every person watching this show gets to decide what they say and what they think and how they express themselves. You don't get to decide.
Let them try and produce child pornography or yell fire in the theater or libel somebody. You're the lawyer, you guys are the lawyers.
Listen,
you make living off
If there was fire in the theater, you would want someone to yell fire, wouldn't you?
No, don't play a cute game. You know what Oliver Wendell Holmes said.
Yeah, and it isn't what you said. Yeah. He said falsely cry fire in the theater.
And you talked about fighting words the other day, Bill. I looked it up.
I should say we have a selected audience today of people who, many are ticket holders, but many are people who are particularly passionate on one side or the other.
Well, what is that communist symbol on her shirt?
Well, I'm trying to explain.
Symbol from the Revolutionary Communist Youth Brigade, the same group that Joey Johnson is a member of. And I just want to make this point because, Phil, you said more than once today that isn't it great this country is so secure in their patriotism and their people, et.cetera., that they can make this kind of decision and whatnot. Yeah. I think that's exactly why they went after Joey Johnson in the first place. Because? I think that that's exactly what they were trying to stop. In Texas, they said straight up, they don't want people desecrating this flag because it puts it down in other people's eyes. It makes other people start to think, well, why would they do that? What does this flag actually stand for to the people around the world?
And we're uncomfortable with the examination. Is that your point?
I think that this country is extremely worried about
Show them this, Brian. I'll let you, I'm not interrupting. Show them the tape of, here you're about to see Mr. Johnson being arrested. 1984, Republican Convention. Where was this, Dallas? Yeah. Yes.
See, I think that the thing is that they're really worried about people thinking about all the things that this flag stands for to the people around the world, because they can't use it then in their times of war and crisis to rally people around the flag, boys, and how patriotism is what should be reigning.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I want to say, it's my business. If I want to burn the American flag, I can. And if America says I can't, then that means that America's not all that free at all. So.
What does this say on your thing?
To hell with Rambo and all he represents.
To hell with Rambo and all he represents. Yeah, next thing you'll be burning Rambo dolls. Where will this end?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe that people should put their hate in order, and when you're burning the American flag, you're burning the 50 states with it. There's people in the 50 states who agree with what you're saying, because it's the 50 states and the 13 colonies, and you're talking for those people too, and I think that if you hate a certain thing the government has done, you represent that hate. And if you
are
hate...
you for or against this decision? Should we be able to burn the flag?
No, I don't think we should.
Phil, may I just expand on her beautiful words? Sure. The suggestion that I gave the president last night, he used today at the Iwo Jima Memorial, and here it is. When you have seen a funeral at Arlington or anywhere in the country that involves the American flag, and see how the 3rd Brigade, the old guard at Arlington, takes that flag reverently and folds it and hands it to a mother, Gold Star mother,
let him make his point.
or a widow. I've been to 11 funerals there. The first was John F. Kennedy's, President Kennedy's. And when you see them hand that flag, how many people in this country want to burn a flag a year? 10? But hundreds of thousands of mothers and kids and widows of people who died, men and women who died for the freedom to speak out here. It rips them. It's mental anguish. It's done deliberately to hurt, not to advance ideas of civilized man.
Phil, that's baloney. And Phil, I might add one thing. Those pictures of the president in front of the Iwo Jima statue, one of the Marines there was Ira Hayes, an Indian, whom our government let drown in 6 inches of water in poverty.
He was an alcoholic.
He was an alcoholic, so he deserves to die.
I didn't what I meant.
He deserves to die. That's one of the men who lifted the flag up there.
Objection.
Mr. Kunstler makes the point that we give
big, welled-up, eloquent speeches on the 4th of July. And by God, those men, and boy, we get a lump in our throat, and that flag goes by, and we're just proud Americans. And we got guys out now. It's not just if I get a big flag. Holy cow, boy, I'm a proud American. Don't tread on me. Really big flag.
Right.
Here's my question.
Like you did at the Notre Dame games, Phil.
Yes, and I hope to do again.
That's right.
Here's my question.
Okay.
How can you turn your back on the veterans who fought and died in the mud for the freedom that you so passionately extol from the platforms during a campaign? You're all for the flag, but when it comes to housing, benefits, this, Agent Orange, all this, you run away from these guys.
Phil, wrong guy.
You run away from these guys.
I didn't run from Agent Orange. I have a 100% perfect voting record for veterans' rights. So don't talk to me. And so does Sonny Montgomery, who was at the memorial this morning.
Yeah. I just want to say, maybe back when Johnson said that, there was bad patriotism, but that was when he burned the flag, and maybe that was all right then. But now, I know myself, I'd go to war for this country, and I don't feel that patriotism. I feel patriotism a lot better now. And just
You're
because
against the decision?
Yeah, just because of this ruling now, you're saying now that this new patriotism, that it should be allowed to be burnt, the flag.
Yeah,
and that's totally wrong.
You
I
don't
can't believe it.
understand that.
No way, it's totally wrong. This guy
All right. Are you there, caller? Go ahead.
Yeah, our flag supports ideas and concepts that do not exist in America. The desecration that exists here is racism and homelessness and poverty and greed and pure hatred of anyone that is not usually white, male, and right-wing. And when our flag...
I want to say two things. One is the men who run this country, they worry about the vets when it's time to send them out for cannon fodder to fight their wars and expand their global holdings or maintain them. And then they worry about them when it's time to whip up the pro-war sentiment to get the next generation of youth out there. And that's where all this is coming from, waving the flag, trying to get people to go on their knees to it to rip up a pro-war sentiment.
Go to war for?
I'm a Vietnam-era veteran who refused to go to Vietnam because I knew what the deal was over there and that I couldn't fight for this red, white, and blue.
How about
and you
the
want to know where
students
my
in
allegiance is? See, you raised this question before. I'm with Joey. I'm a spokesperson for the Revolutionary Communist Party. Our allegiance is to the future society that oppressed people are going to bring into being around the world through revolution against the U.S. rulers and the Soviet social imperialists.
Tiananmen Square.
Yes.
What are you, recording? What about China?
Congressman, hold it, please.
China.
Thank you for your cooperation.
I want to know why Mr. Johnson decided to burn the flag once he lost his focus and direction. He should have burned a picture of President Reagan or thrown darts at him. He could have made his point.
Or washed the flag.
Yeah.
Had a ceremonial washing
So
of the flag.
you're against the Supreme Court decision?
Oh, yeah.
You don't think you should be able to burn the flag?
No, I think that some of the people running the country are the problem. It's not the flag and the country itself.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
Suddenly, the English muffin takes a new turn. Oatmeal Goodness Bread introduces English muffins with oat bran. All the important oat bran of a bowl of oatmeal in each one. And a crunchy, chewy taste you can't turn down. New from Oatmeal Goodness.
We're feeling right, we're eating light. We're living light years from now on.
Introducing new Tender Vittles Light brand cat food with half the fat and twice the fiber of canned. Serve Tender Vittles Light and help your cat live light years.
Hi! Today's show, creamed berries. Start with Reynolds' new Sure Seal freezer bag. Pour in 1 pint overripe blackberries. Take 1 Louisville Slugger and very carefully batter the berries! Voila! Creamed berries. No other freezer bag can do that.
They're the toughest plastic bags ever built. New Sure Seal bags from Reynolds. It's Reynolds Sure Seal or bust.
Next week, bashed borscht.
Interesting exhibit, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially from a paleoanthropological standpoint.
Oh, you are absolutely correct. Listen, I was wondering,
Dr. Penrose. Just what the doctor ordered.
would you like to share that with a tall, dark stranger?
For your Batman personality.
The WDAZ community billboard for this week includes a group from the Soviet Union called Russia appearing here in Grand Forks Sunday, July 9th at 2 p.m. in University Park, along with the local rock band One. Admission is free. An ice cream social will be held Sunday, July 9th from 1 to 4 p.m. at Valley Memorial Home, Almont. It will be a free will offering. The Park and Recreation Department of Crookston is sponsoring a Make-A-Wish Carnival Wednesday, July 21st. The carnival is to raise money for terminally ill children in Minnesota. The carnival will be held at the Crookston Civic Arena from 1 to 3:30 p.m. The city of Red Lake Falls will be holding its 3rd annual Buffington Rodeo on Saturday, July 15th at 7 p.m. The horse show will begin at 12 noon and 2 p.m. on Sunday, July 16th. For more information, call 218-253-2684.
The home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true under red, white, and blue, where there's never a fall.
You wanted to say, my good woman, yes.
Yes, I'm surprised at how one-sided this show is. I mean, aren't there more peaceful...
holding my own. I'm doing okay, aren't I?
Aren't there more peaceful ways of protesting? This country is hardly perfect, but there's an awful lot that's good about this country.
Where have you been? I'm sitting here. Well, come on, help this young woman. Yeah.
I'd like to ask Joey a question. I don't know this organization of which you're a member, Joey, but I would like to know...
The whole membership is in this room.
In which countries... In which of these countries you have visited, you said you're so interested in the oppressed people of the world. Have you been, tell me which countries you've been, these communist countries you visited in.
I've traveled a few places in the world.
Would you like to, I'd like to know.
Well, yeah, okay,
I'd
if you
like
want to
to
hear
know.
a story, in 1969, I was an Army brat.
Joey,
you want to know where I've been? In 1969, this is what radicalized and made me revolutionary in a lot of ways. I was an Army brat living on base in West Germany. I went into the mess halls every morning selling the Stars and Stripes newspaper of all things. And there was radical GIs coming back from Vietnam who were disgusted with that war, said they weren't going to fight. Black GIs, Puerto Rican GIs, white cats, they were the ones.
I happen to be a member of the Friendship Force, which is people from all over the world who visit each other. We here in the United States go to many other countries, paying for our own trips, trying to make friendship on a one-by-one basis because we believe so in this United States.
Yes. And you'll hand this woman, please.
I consider myself a liberal Democrat, but I'm for the Republican on this issue.
Yes, sir. Briefly, please. Briefly.
Okay. Well, what makes me very sad is that this is the issue that George Bush chooses to jump on. We've been waiting 6 months. We've been waiting 6 months for him to get off his ass and start acting like a leader. Okay, excuse me.
Assets.
Okay, thousands of gallons or millions of gallons of oil are spilling in Valdez, Alaska. Thousands of people are dying in China. He doesn't do anything. He leaps instead to protect a piece of cloth.
Well, he got a 411-5 vote in Congress. You know, I mean, yes.
Phil, if I can just interrupt for 1 minute, he doesn't mind if they burn 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds and mental retards, which the Supreme Court authorized.
Yes, they did.
But they burn a flag, that affects him.
Yes.
You see, that shows the difference.
But you're being selective too, Mr. Kunstler. You've given yourself permission to condemn the court for its 5-4 decision allowing us to execute 16-year-old mentally retarded people. And he's bringing the same
Phil, I'm
negative
not going to love
energy.
the court because one courageous decision came down. So many bad ones have come down, and they may use that good one as an excuse to nullify or justify the bad one.
A stop clock is right twice a day.
Incidentally, we should know that those who voted 5 in the majority were Brennan, who wrote the decision, Marshall, Scalia, and Kennedy, both Reagan appointees, and Blackmun. 5-4, you can burn the flag. Are you there, caller? Hi.
Yes, I am, Phil.
Go ahead.
I would only like to say one thing, that the flag is just so important to our everyday society and our everyday life.
Yeah.
If these people cannot refrain from burning it on the street, then they should just leave our country.
I got a response. Phil, I got a response to it.
Love it or leave it. Love it or leave it.
I got a response to that.
Phil, come on. You mean if you don't agree, you should leave the country? What kind of democracy do you want?
Love it or leave it has never been a policy around here, but when we come out and we say, hey, look, you're talking about flag burning now, you're talking about prayer in schools, we're talking about different values that other people want to say, suddenly we're jerks, we're reactionaries, we're fascists. We just, there are a few American values that we'd still like to hold on to.
And you'd like it to be protected.
And I'd like it to be my free speech to say no.
And you'd like to be able to pray in a public school. The world's not going to come to an end if we do that.
Whatever. Aren't these some of the freedoms that we're supposed to be able to have, that I can come back and say, I don't agree with what you did. I don't agree with burning the flag. I don't agree with that desecration. I don't agree with the desecration of symbols.
Yeah, but you want a law prohibiting it. That's the question.
Supposing now he was the president of the United States, and when he heard you say that, he said, leave the country if you don't like it.
I have a real serious question with the Supreme Court's decision on what is free speech and what isn't. When you look at Hazelwood last year, when they took rights away from high school journalists, I didn't see the ACLU coming up going, hey,
it was our case. What are you talking about?
Well, you certainly blew it for us.
Well, in other words,
you certainly blew it for us.
You want free speech for high school newspapers.
That would be nice, too.
Well, but you were on the side of the ACLU on that decision, if I'm understanding you.
Yes.
Uh-huh. But you're not on the side of the ACLU on this decision.
But the court isn't clear as to where they are. If burning a flag is free speech, fine, but high school students aren't allowed to have opinions. Therefore, that's no longer free speech because they're just little kids, Right. They need to be a little bit clearer where they want to come from.
And while we're at it, don't forget, you should all have a flashlight and make your own citizens' arrest for those people who commit sodomy. It's against the law. The Supreme Court said so, did it not? And we'll be back in just a moment.
Attention, macho men. How would you like to worship the goddess? Like these beefy burritos of manhood. First, give me your worldly possessions. Yeah, like you'll miss that chainsaw. Then, drink Diet Dr. Pepper. It's not a wimped-out diet drink, no. Its unique taste turns mere mortals into my personal love slaves. It could happen.
Diet Dr. Pepper, like nothing else.
Diabetes is a disease in which blood sugar is elevated above normal levels. Diabetes can cause severe loss of vision due to damage to the blood vessels of the eye. All diabetics should have an annual eye examination because diabetic eye disease can become quite advanced before it causes cloudy vision. Most of the problems of diabetic eye disease can be treated with a laser if caught in time. This message brought to you by Eye Surgeons Incorporated, Dr. Sudarshan, Gast, Dickin, and Manka, 2100 South Columbia Road, Grand Forks.
Nice. Shady, hip-pocket political scams.
MacGyver's mad.
You sold out your country.
He isn't gonna take it anymore. MacGyver. Ben.
I have cancer.
Their love defied the odds.
I'm pregnant.
And their hope gave them courage.
Your chances of survival are less than 25%.
There's still time for miracles.
Love lives on.
All coming up tonight on WDAZ.
Working outdoors, remember some simple rules around power lines. Before you cut or trim trees near power lines, call your nearby electric utility for help. If you're using a ladder or a scaffold, keep it as far away as possible from power lines. If you must work near electric wires, use wood or fiberglass ladders, never aluminum or metal. Electricity brings a lot of convenience into our lives. With a few simple safety rules, we can pay it the healthy respect it deserves.
Yo, Bob. The ladder, Bob. Hello.
Emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true under red, white, and blue, where there's never a foe so bright.
I am reminded that the Georgia legislature had anti-sodomy laws, which the United States Supreme Court said it was constitutionally permissible for states to have.
Phil, remember when Bruce Jenner waved the American flag after he won the decathlon?
Yeah.
Joey threw up because he said it's fascism like Zig Heiling.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Yes.
Listen, it's not like because of its decision we're going to make you go out and burn flags, but just that people have the right to do what they feel.
If they wish to. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. First of all, I love this country. I would never burn this flag, but I really resent my patriotism being questioned because I support his right to not burn the flag.
His right to burn it. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Burning the flag isn't going to solve anything. It's only going to create more problems, and everyone's just going to get angry.
That's what they said to the black people who sat in the middle of the street, and they blocked traffic, and all kinds of terrible things happened.
But all he's doing is getting people really angry with him. Can't they talk somehow instead
I
of burning
wonder,
a flag?
I wish they could. I mean,
Hey,
that's
Phil,
the problem.
Phil,
Yes. Yes, Bob.
Phil, I have a flag for you.
You do? All
that
right.
flew over the Capitol yesterday.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Seriously?
All right, Joey, get near it.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, this is true.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Congressman.
Bill, 3 days after this beautiful 4th of July, Bill celebrates his 70th birthday. On that day, I'm going to fly a flag over the Capitol on his 70th birthday. I have one for Ira. I would give Joey one, but he'd start a riot.
Last year, Phil, the United States bombed the Iranian Airbus out of the sky
And I have
July
one for
4th.
any member of the audience who has a loved one serving overseas.
Very good. Now, you giving one to Mr. Kunstler as well?
His is a birthday flag going to fly on his birthday.
I see. All right.
Last year, to celebrate July 4th, they bombed an Iranian Airbus out of the sky.
I just find it ironic that people like Mr. Johnson rely upon a uniquely American symbol called the Constitution
They dragged me
to
there.
desecrate a uniquely
I had to go
American
to
symbol
court.
called
I
the
didn't
flag.
choose
You
that
win
arena.
this flag.
They dragged me
Give
to
her
court.
that flag.
Here. That's for you. That's for you. Yes. Yeah.
I think everyone's taking this a little too seriously. That's all I have to say.
No, the government is taking it very seriously.
Aren't you making a martyr out of him by, like, making an amendment? Don't you think that... Never mind. Go ahead.
What else would he do?
Vietnam veteran from Fort Lee, New Jersey, the VFW. I invite him to come to the Vietnam Memorial and burn another flag.
It'll start a riot.
See,
And we'll be back in just a moment.
For the same calories in this, you could be enjoying this. This is low in fat, but so is Baskin-Robbins' new Low, Light, and Luscious with NutraSweet. It's sugar-free, 97% fat-free, 1/3 less calories than ice cream, and a taste that's all Baskin-Robbins.
Wrong number. Now I'll never get back to sleep.
Nitol will help you get your Z's.
Nitol helps you feel drowsy so you can get your Z's.
Nitol will help you get your Z's.
My heart cries for you.
For the first time on TV, here are the most heart-touching records of all time. Watch carefully. You get them all.
Till the end of time.
You get every famous hit.
I had the last waltz with you.
The most touching records ever made.
Return to me.
25 all-time favorites.
Oh, my dear, I'm so lonely.
Vaya con Dios, my darling.
Lay your head
The most tender love songs ever recorded.
up on my pillow.
How I long to be with
25 memory-stirring records.
my happiness.
I love you most of all because
25 beloved stars.
and I have loved you dearly, more dearly than the spoken word can tell.
The most heart-touching records ever made. All 25 are now yours on 2 records, 2 cassettes, or 2 8-track tapes. The price, just $12.98. Be sure to order now during this limited TV offer.
Mail $12.98 to Songs of Love, Box 2466, Fargo 58108. You get 25 of the most heart-touching records ever made on 2 records, 2 cassettes, or 2 8-track tapes. This offer will end with no advance notice. Write this address down now. Mail $12.98 in Canada, send $15.98 Canadian funds to Songs of Love, Box 2466, Fargo 58108. Songs of Love, Box 2466, Fargo, North Dakota 58108.
For a transcript of today's show, send $3 to Donahue Transcript, 267 Broadway, New York, 1007, or call 212-227-READ.
Just the first step is the way for our human rights.
Next thing, you won't be able to do something else and something else and something else.
Exactly, you know, the refugees, you know.
Yeah.
The activists, you know, patriots.
Are you there, caller? Hi.
Hi.
Go ahead.
A flag is just fabric until the feelings of your patriotism are attributed to it. If you purchase a flag, it's your right to do anything you want with it. It's your property.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir.
I feel the American flag is what the United States symbolizes, and if you're not happy with things, vote against things, protest, but don't burn the flag.
Run for office.
This decision represents a gain in freedom, and I think now we should turn our focus on a lot of the other cases that are going to decide a lot of civil rights things that we need to focus on right now.
Yes, sir. This is not a perfect country, but burning the flag does not help.
Yes.
It's not the flag that symbolizes our country. It's freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. And we shouldn't wrap it up in the American flag. It belongs to people all over the world.
Write your Congress.
I would just like to congratulate Jillian on inciting the most patriotism I've seen in my 26 years.
You got it!
Congressman Donahue over there has been saying that everybody is against burning the American flag. They take their public opinion polls of the players and coaches of the Miami Dolphins, right? But there's millions of people within
Services
this country
provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
Kids love Miss Piggy's Pink Bananas Bubble Bath.
Miss Piggy!
Also Kermit's Crazy Berry Bubbles, safe and gentle from Calgon.
True Value Hardware Stores, your place for service and selection where you'll find quality tools, hardware, and housewares, along with helpful service.
The Drake offers an exciting weekend in New York at a special price. The only Swiss hotel on Park Avenue. For reservations, call 800-DRAKE-NEW YORK or 212-421-0900.
If there are a million people here that don't like the flag and what it stands for, then they should find another country that they like.